Donald Trump has won the election and he's serving as a president of United States for a second term. So, our question here is not to analyze his political campaign or his politics regarding United States because there are tens of thousands of analysts and journalists doing just that. Our job here is to understand what would that mean to, more importantly, financial markets. Truth be honest, I am not the greatest commentator of United States politics, but I know one thing. He had huge emphasis on economy and how to improve living standards of average American. And Americans believed him and voted for him. So here's the thing. Here's the most, I would say, ironical thing at all. If we look nominally at United States statistics and I would say economic data, they're actually not that bad. In fact, they are far better than in Europe. First and foremost, the painful question of inflation was already mitigated because prices stabilized after 2022 inflation and Fed actually decreased interest rates. So that means prices are more or less stable. It was both here in Europe and in America as well. So that's one thing. Second thing, actually, GDP growth of United States is quite respectable given the circumstances in world itself. We have plenty of instabilities and plenty of risks, but American economy is robust and it's performing better than EU. So that's second thing. And third thing is that overall unemployment is really low. So there is not no significant red flags as we would compare to like many European countries where there are structural issues and there are real problems. So why I'm saying this because it poses some sort of problem because well many politicians get elected after we have like disastrous economic crises or huge social instabilities where we have like prolonged unemployment or I don't know yes inflation out of control and such of things and usually by supply and demand forces rather than direct policies these problems have been mitigated and newly elected politicians could attribute those success to themselves. That's the old trick in politics. But here, Trump will have a real problem to do that because all the data are already good. But even replicating themselves would be challenging at all. But if he wants to increase those data, he would have to be able to produce, I would say, like the best economic growth in history of modern United States. Will he be able to do that? Well, it's tough to say because world today is not unpleasant place. We have a lot of wars, a lot of instabilities, and a lot of stuff which is outside of control of Americans. So that's the one thing. But now let's focus on financial markets. And here the issue is similar. Yes, Trump said that United States will be capital of crypto to appeal crypto waters, but crypto already has been close to all-time highs and kinda expected for Donald Trump to be elected for some time. So even though we have decent rise in crypto, what would that bring? Bitcoin to 1 million, Bitcoin to half a million? I doubt it will go that high because if I want to judge performance of cryptocurrencies, I probably will look at history of cryptocurrencies and they're telling me one thing they might grow from 10,000 to 100,000 and then fall back to 10,000. That's usual pattern of crypto. So my bet is our next few years forecasts of crypto markets will probably will look like that. Wild swings upwards, huge euphorias, and then huge depressions and market collapses that will follow after that. That's how crypto has looked, and that's how it will look in years to follow. But more direct interest for Trump probably is stock market because well S&P 500 is American stock market index. And here's the thing. It's actually difficult for him to replicate success even yes of Biden himself because at last 2 years when Biden was president in 2023 and 2024 actually stock market rose each year for more than 20%. And this is spectacular numbers because we don't have these two year to year rises of 20 plus percent. And one time period where we actually had better year on year performances was mid to late 90s. So if Trump wants to, I would say, even replicate this success, he will have the best growth of stock market in modern memory. Will he be able to do that? Well, it's possible, but I wouldn't say that would be completely sure thing. And let's go to the next market. And next market is also really interesting, and this is oil market because Trump actually promised that he will halve oil prices to $40 per barrel. He will do that by increasing oil production in America. But here's the issue. Trump doesn't control global oil market, and even if he will be able to pull this off, he will still have to see what will OPEC and Russia will do because most likely OPEC will try to decrease oil production to keep oil prices stable. And what will do Russia with sanctions in mind, I don't really know. But they have plenty of problems to worry about besides the global oil market. And that's the thing. Oil market is influenced by largest players, both by supply and demand side. And even if Trump will be able to dramatically increase oil production, I doubt he will be able to control all of the other elements in oil market. So it's also not impossible that oil might fall even further from 70 to 30 or $40 because it has happened in the past as well. But I seriously doubt that this kind of success in oil market could be attributed to him. Most likely that would happen if there will be substantial decrease in demand from China in combination with some increased production or at least stability in OPEC countries and America. That might happen, but it's only time will tell how this will materialize. But for him to be able to do that, he will literally have to have the best economic growth and the best financial market growth in American history. And he wouldn't be able to do that if there is global wars in Europe and in Middle East and the whole relations between major economies will be as awful as they are now. So here's the challenge. Stock market is now at all-time highs and American economy is doing pretty good. So for Trump to actually make his promises, he has to be literally the best president in terms of economic development at history of United States. Will he be able to pull that off? Well, let's see in next 4 years.